Hi everyone, it's Lisa and welcome to Make It Monday. Today is week 22 in my series on techniques. Thank you for joining us. Please be sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of my upcoming series. Today I'm going to be teaching spotlighting. It's been around for a long time and it's easy to do, and I've got a lot of samples for you, but this is the first one and I'm going to use this for my demonstration just to keep it simple, and then I'll talk about some variations. This is the spotlighting technique right here. This card came out beautiful. I'm real happy with it. I just created it and then cut it into panels, and of course used that gorgeous champagne shimmer mist to give it a little bit of a sparkle. Let's go ahead and get started. I prefer to use a stamp that's very detailed so that you can spotlight just one area of it without coloring the whole thing in. I'm using the sunflower, and I've already cut a piece of cardstock, very vanilla, 4.5 by 2 3/4. That's just to mimic that panel that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to stamp the base of the card in crumb cake. I prefer to stamp all my background stamps upside down. It's a lot easier than trying to handle them. So I'm going to ink it up in the crumb cake. And I'm going to take that piece of cardstock and I'm going to just lay it right around the center. I keep a scratch piece of cardstock in my stamp box because then I can cover this and I can rub without lifting the stamp. And that gives us this. Now you're going to need to do it again, but this time I'm going to do it in chocolate chip because I want it darker. So I'm going to clean my stamp. So with my chocolate chip ink, I'm going to ink this up again. And remember, I only need a small portion. I'm going to take a small scrap piece of cardstock and I'm going to place it just about where I'm going to want to spotlight. And then I'm going to rub the same manner that I did before. Okay, so now I have my image. I'm also going to be using crushed curry, and you're going to need 2 sponge daubers. My daubers look stained, but they're clean. I actually use a little dish soap and water to rinse them out and let them air dry, and then you can use them in other colors. So I'm going to start by creating some color around where the petals are. When I ink this up, I like to dab a little bit off to make sure it's not too strong. And remember, we're going to be just doing a small area, so we don't need to color in too much. And then this is the chocolate chip. I'm going to give a little color around my center. The circle punches were retired this year, and my original samples that I'll show you, I used the Circles Collection framelits, which are wonderful for the Big Shot. But for the demonstration, I'm going to use the retired punches. This is the 1 1/4, and I'm going to just punch out a small area of detail. Then I'm going to use the 1 3/8 inch circle punch, which is just a little bit larger than the original circle that I've punched, in a coordinating color. And today I'm going to use chocolate chip. And then I'm going to adhere these two together. Now you don't have to layer it on another circle if you don't want to. This is optional. Here's my original design. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mimic exactly where I took this off of. So you're going to see here is the sunflower. So this piece came out somewhere around here. So now comes the puzzle time. And I am going to turn this to find exactly where it's going to go. And it looks as if it goes here. So I'm going to put some adhesive on it, on the back of the circle. And I'm just going to line this up. Okay, so there we go. I rub from the back to make sure that it's on really well. And then you can go ahead and finish this card by cutting it into panels if you'd like, or you can mount it and just put some words and ribbon. This is a piece of 11 by 1/2 inch chocolate chip, and I conditioned the paper until the 2 layers separated. The one thing about Stampin' Up! Colored cardstock is it's colored all the way through. So you can see here that it's kind of fuzzy and thin on the back. And then I just put some snail adhesive down and just scrunched it up and placed it on the card. Now let me show you some other samples I made. This one uses Pleasant Poppies. Again, a very detailed stamp, and I only wanted to focal point a small area that I was going to color in. And this is using the Strawberry Slush, the Raspberry Ripple markers, and then I used a little bit of white gel pen. Added some words and a border, very simple. Here's the swallowtail, very popular stamp because of the detail. And again, all I did was focal just one area. Again, being very careful to line it up. Created a very small 3x3 note card using field flowers. And last but not least, I think my favorite, probably because of the colors, the red and the black. This was fun. I used the stems from So Kind, and then I used the open flower from Flower Shop. And in this time, I used a heart-shaped punch to punch out the flower after I markered it in. Now, I used the full heart punch to do the heart, but the heart framelits is a little bit big, so all I did was mount it and just trim it down, and I think it looks fine. This right here, this is a rhinestone that I actually used a black Sharpie marker on to color in. It's really exquisite in person. This is the Boho Blossom Punch. I ran it through the polka dot embossing folder to mimic the background, and I added the candy dots up on dimensionals. This one you're going to notice too that I've had to twist the heart to line up the images of the flower, but that's totally acceptable. There you have it for today. This is called spotlighting. I look forward to seeing you next week for Make It Monday.